Hey, what's up, you guys? David here, and I'm back to you with another collection update. Today, I've got a pretty good variety of stuff to show you guys, just some stuff that I've, been buying as always, and some stuff that a friend sent me back in December that I've been meaning to put in a collection update for some time now. So if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and get into it. First off, we have Akathrata, I believe that's how you pronounce it, with Spiritus Immundus. This is released on Pulverized Records back in 2017, and this was on my favorites of 2017 list. Akathrata is a funeral death doom project from Cam Lee. Once again, one of the many projects that Cam Lee has been doing. He's got quite a few of them, and this is a really, really good one. If you know anything about Cam Lee, he's a complete fucking, horror maniac, like I am myself. I've talked about how much I love, horror movies and all that stuff on here, but it's always come across in his music pretty much all the time. He's always, the lyrical themes and everything, it's always horror based, and that's no different with this release. Very, very solid funeral death tomb. I wouldn't really say it's like evoking. Maybe some elements of evoking. It does get a little ambient atmospheric at times, but it's not really like that, that melodic, beautiful atmospheric. It's like a creepy, once again, horror movie kind of feel to it. But pretty spooky sounding, very heavy. Cam Lee's vocals, as always, are fantastic. He's a great death metal vocalist. It's a reason why he's so well known. Really cool riffs. I like the drums quite a bit. Very nice and thick sounding, as I prefer my drums to be in metal. Just really, really good, solid funeral death doom. If you're into that kind of shit, definitely check this out. I don't really see a whole lot of people talking about this back in 2017. So, Akathrata, Spiritus, Immundus. If I had to pick out some favorite tracks, I would say Nocturnal Interment definitely being my favorite. Phantasmagories is pretty cool, and also contains a really cool version of Celtic Frost's Dethroned Emperor. So, yeah. Check that out. Next up, we go to Skeletal Remains with Devouring Mortality. This is released on Dark Descent Records. This is a release from last year. Man, I am really fucking kicking myself for not putting this on my year-end list last year. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, why I didn't. I regret so much not spending more time with this album. It should have been made my year-end list, no question. This is fucking fantastic, man. I've known about Skeletal Remains for quite a few years now. My introduction to them was their album Condemned to Misery, which came out in 2015, which I believe I did put on my favorites for 2015. Before I was on YouTube or anything. I was just like making these lists on my Facebook and everything. But Skeletal Remains, very, very solid old school death metal. This is just pure 90s death metal worship. Obituary, Pestilence, Death, the early Death, obviously. Just old school death metal with a modern take on it. Very clean, crisp, modern sounding production. Really, really cool riffs on here. Vocals that are like a mix of like Chuck Schuldiner, John Tardy, and Martin Van Drunen is the best way I would describe the vocal performance on here. But very, very good shit. This is their debut on Dark Descent. I'm trying to remember what label they were on before this, but I can't remember at the moment. But I'd love to go see these guys live, and I heard they put on a really, really fucking killer live show. I believe they're from California, if I remember correctly. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that. But a fucking fantastic death metal release from last year that I'm sure a lot of you have heard by now. And like I said, I wish I had spent more time with it because it should have made my year-end list. I really feel like I fucked up on this one. But Skeletal Remains, Devouring Mortality, definitely go check that shit out. Next up, we go to Unrest with Grindcore. This is released on Unspeakable Acts, and actually, I just now noticed Dark Descent is also on here, so I guess this was a co-release from Unspeakable Acts and Dark Descent. I didn't really notice that until I looked at the back of the CD until now. Anyway, moving on. Unrest is a grindcore. Yeah. Yeah, that's the album title. Anyway, a grindcore band. Did I just... a grindcore band from... they're somewhere in the U.S. Pennsylvania, I want to say. Something like that. Once again, if you remember the Trench Rot record that I showed in my last collection update, this is another side project from the guys from Crypt Sermon. Brooks Wilson, the vocalist of Crypt Sermon, is the bassist here, and the guitarist from Crypt Sermon, I believe, does guitar and vocals. He's the lead vocalist on this, and this is just really, really fun, in-your-face, solid grindcore, and this is not lo-fi grind by any means. This is a very clean sounding production on this. Every instrument is heard very loud and clear, but it works. It works very, very well. They play the style very well. The lyrics are what you'd expect from grindcore, the social politics, kind of lyrics. As far as what grindcore bands to compare them to, I'm not really sure. I feel like this is kind of just their tribute, or their tribute as a love for the genre. Like in Trench Rot, it shows, that they're death metal fans of Crypt Sermon. They love the heavy doom metal stuff, and with this, obviously they're grind fans. So it's kind of just like a tribute to all kinds of different grindcore. Hear a little bit of Napalm Death, maybe some Nasum, Pig Destroyer, and many, many others. So, but you be the judge of what you think their influences are. But yeah, actually, this is probably one of my all-time favorite grindcore albums. I've been listening to a lot of grind again as of late, ever since watching since I watched the Slave to the Grind documentary that came out not too long ago. If you haven't seen that, any grindcore fans, extreme metal fans, definitely go check that documentary out. It's really, really fucking good. But yeah, man, Unrest, grindcore, very, very good shit. A bit of a generic album title, obviously, just calling the album title what the genre is, but yeah, very, very solid nonetheless. Highly recommended. Next up, we go to Disma with Towards the Megalith. This is released on Profound Lore Records, released in 2011. Disma is basically just a death doom, or more death doomy, because Incantation do have a lot of death doom moments on their albums, but this is more so doomy than Incantation. You got the original vocalist of Incantation, Craig Pillard, who is just a fucking monster beast of a fucking death metal vocalist, man. Oh my god, his vocals are fantastic on this. They just sound like a fucking demon king speaking down to you. So fucking good. Very super fucking heavy riffs, very much down-tuned, but man, what's really cool about Disma is how they managed to retain that old school, filthy Incantation kind of death metal sound, but giving it a modern production, very, very clear, very, very clean production, and still sounding like it's been fucking buried in an ancient tomb for hundreds of years. I don't know how they mix those kind of, that kind of vibe together, but it works so goddamn well on here. Every single song from beginning to end is fucking fantastic. This is one of my all-time favorite death doom albums, or death metal albums, however you want to put it. Disma is fucking awesome, and I can't wait to hear the next album that they do. They've already confirmed that they're working on the next one. I guess I should go ahead and say this. For any of you that follow this band, you should already know. Unfortunately, Craig Pillard recently left the band. If you know anything about Craig Pillard, his background, you'll probably know where I'm going with this. I'm not going to get into band drama too much on this channel. That's not what I'm here to do. But it does suck that Craig Pillard is out of the band. His vocals were a huge part of what made Disma so great, but I am pretty confident that they will find a more than competent vocalist to replace him. So I'm still looking forward to the future for Disma, and so should you. But yeah, Death Doom fans, Death Metal fans, especially Incantation fans, I know a lot of you have already heard this, but yeah, Disma towards a Megalith, fucking awesome. And now we go to some even more awesome Death Doom, this time out of Finland. This is Swallowed with Lunarterial. I think that's how you say it. This is their debut full-length. It was released on Dark Descent Records back in 2014, if I'm not mistaken. This is just absolutely fucking vicious, hellish, trippy sounding Death Doom. You got some psychedelic moments in here. It gets pretty atmospheric. It's just, and these vocals, man, some of the most unique and original vocals I've ever heard out of Death Doom, death metal. He doesn't really do like that low death growl. It's more like a higher pitch, sort of a snarly, kind of shrieky, raspy kind of vocal approach. It's kind of hard to describe. Just listen to the album and you'll see what I mean. But I love, excuse me. I love the vocals on this thing, man. So fucking cool. Great riffs. Just like I said, vicious, hellish, very, very creepy, evil sounding shit. And it's also not, it is Death Doom, but it's not always just, slow tempos being played. There's quite a few times where they speed it up quite a bit with some blast beats, and it gets really fucking frantic and hectic and crazy. So a lot of tempo changes on here as well, but still very much a solid Death Doom album. I can't wait to hear more from this band, and I hope they do more. But I haven't heard anything from them or heard any news from them in a while. But yeah, Death Doom fans, definitely check this out if you haven't already. All right, now I'm getting to the stuff that my buddy Brett sent me. I have talked about Brett on this channel before. He is his YouTube channel is Solbrud. If you haven't already, definitely go give him or check him out. Subscribe to him, especially if you're a fan of black metal. Great dude, always knows what he's talking about. He dabbles into other genres as well, but it's mainly black metal. And he was kind enough to send me a package in December, Christmas or Christmas Eve, I believe it was, actually. And just some stuff that he, a lot of this he already had on vinyl, I believe, and he decided to send me some CDs. And, being a fan of mostly black metal, he tried to send me some black metal that he thought I might be interested in. As I've told you guys, I'm not the biggest fan of black metal, definitely one of my least favorite metal genres. But I do enjoy some of it here and there. And I guess he just tried to do his best based on what the bands I told him I enjoyed in black metal were. But anyway, before I get into the black metal, let's get into the stuff that I was familiar with. This is Katatonia with The Fall of Hearts. This was released in 2016. I remember a lot of people saying really good things about this. Katatonia from Sweden, obviously known as the other band with the guys from Bloodbath. Katatonia, I do enjoy most of their work. This is, in terms of the musicianship and the production, the songwriting, this album is actually really fucking good. It really is. You got a lot of progressive elements on here mixed with some alternative rock kind of moments. It's very beautiful sounding stuff, honestly. It really is. But it's just a little too mellow for my taste. So I definitely, when it comes to Katatonia, I definitely prefer the earlier records over this. But yeah, it is a pretty good album, but I'm just probably not going to be going back to it too much. But yeah, Katatonia, The Fall of Hearts. Next up, we go to Knelt with Insignificance. Now, this was probably the CD that I was interested in and liked the most. Of course, I've talked about Knelt on here before. My buddy Wyatt XM, got me into these guys. Very awesome black death grind and noise. I can't remember where they're from, somewhere in the US. But this is their third full length. This is the one that comes right before Trespass. Trespass, definitely their best album, but if I had to pick their second best, probably be this one. Only 3 tracks, but they all go over like the 10-minute mark, I think, if I remember correctly. I think the second track maybe is only like 7 minutes or something. But yeah, just it's what you'd expect from Knelt Rote, just the crazy, chaotic, fucking just absolutely decimating sounding black death grind and noise. These guys are fucking insane. Very, very chaotic music. Not for the faint of heart, that is for sure. Only for the most hardcore of extreme metal listeners. But yeah, Knelt Rote, fucking great band. Next up, we have a CD from, oh god, Solbrud. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to fucking lie to Brett on here and say, oh yeah, I've heard this stuff, it's fucking awesome. No, I actually haven't gotten around to listen to this yet. But I think I did ask Brett about this when I messaged him. I think he told me it was like in the atmospheric black metal territory. Like the really, you know, kind of ambient, well, obviously ambient atmospheric black metal, but folky kind of atmospheric black metal. But yeah, I haven't listened to it yet, but should probably give it a listen, you know, at some point just to see if I do enjoy it or not. But yeah, I think this is like an EP because there's only like a few tracks on here. So, and next up we go to, is this just a self-titled? Yeah, it looks like it. Myrkur. This is released on Relapse. I was familiar with Myrkur. I haven't listened to them a whole lot, maybe just a few tracks here and there. I think they got like a female vocalist, and I know a lot of black metal fans tend to hate them because I guess they just do a lot of things that go against the normal kind of things you would do in black metal. I remember very well that Sean, Count Blaggerith, I remember this appeared on his fucking bands that he disliked the video, and he definitely gave this band a piece of his mind, but I haven't really listened to him too much. But yeah, Myrkur, I'm sure a lot of you know them or are familiar with them. This is released on Relapse, so a lot of people know them. And next up, Brett also sent me a cassette. I think this was a demo for his band Solbrud, which he is working on full length. That's his solo black metal project. But yeah, pretty cool. So you got like the J card right there. You got a red cassette tape. Obviously, I've gotten a way of listening to cassettes, so it's just going to be a collector's item for me. But still pretty cool for him to send that. And Brett also sent me a Solbrud patch. I already had one of those. And aside from the Knelt Rote CD, this is probably my second favorite thing that he sent me. Well, I don't know. Maybe they're tied, but Bloodbath, Bloodbath over Bloodstock. This is released in 2011. A very, very solid live DVD from Bloodbath. A very good sound. Biggest complaint, Michael Ackerfeld's vocals. Probably not the strongest they've ever been in Bloodbath's career. I thought the Walk-In at Carnage DVD, his vocals sounded way more beastly and just better overall. His vocals just, like I said, they're still pretty good for the most part, but every once in a while they do come off a little weak. Here and there, you just don't have like those beastly growls, like I said, like he did in that live at Walk-In Carnage performance. But still very good, very cool set list. You got a lot of my favorites on here, like Fire, Eaten, the most fucking catchy death metal song ever written, possibly. Mouth of Empty Praise, Breeding Death, Soul Visceration, Ways to the Grave. Yeah, I could go on and on. I'm probably about to just name the whole fucking set list. But, and I believe this is one of Michael's last shows that he did with Bloodbath until he finally left the band for good and just wanted to focus on Opeth. But, yeah, very, very cool to own this. Now I own both Bloodbath live DVDs. Very, very awesome. All right, and that's going to do it for this collection update. So, as always, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, all that cool shit. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.